100 push-ups,
100
sit-ups, and a 10-kilometer run. Which nation are you? I mean, there's an Airbender joke I can make right now.
Oh, yeah.
Me? What nation am I?
You asked me, so.
I think I'd be a non-bender. I would not. I get the tough end of the stick. I love magic, and I'd be like, oh, what do I get?
You would be Sokka. I could see that.
Sokka pulls. Sokka is the guy.
Pulled.
Yeah.
For a kid show, he pulled the moon. That's pretty impressive. So, when was the first time you actually saw Avatar?
Sometime when I was in my Nick days, so late 18, 19 years old. And I still watch Avatar. You got to go back and watch episodes all the time. But I was probably, it came out in what, 2006?
Something like that.
I was probably 10.
No.
What about you?
Well, like my family never had cable. So I would sometimes see an episode or half an episode at Taekwondo practice.
Yeah.
Or if we were at some hotel, we would watch, like I'd watch an episode or two when on the Nick channel. And I liked it then. Like I thought it was cool, but I was never able to see the full show.
Which you have to with Avatar.
Well, I actually watched it. I think the first time I saw the whole thing was either senior year of high school or somewhere in college.
Oh, so literally 18, 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's the only time I actually saw the whole thing.
Respect, yes.
Yeah, no, going through things and a friend said, hey, did you ever watch Avatar? I'm like, yeah, I saw an episode or two. Like, you got to see the whole show. All right, fine. I got nothing better to do.
And did that change did you still love it when you saw it at 18, 19 for the first time?
Yeah, I really liked it.
Good.
Well, I had to get through like 5 episodes of season 1.
Which episode got you?
The Storm. There are better episodes, but The Storm is the episode that made the show, oh, okay, like, this is something different than your standard kids show.
Yeah.
It's a little special. So that's why I think it's a real standout of season 1 especially.
Avatar is, I mean, we both love it.
Yeah.
I got to give it a lot of respect to it because I think that might be my first introduction into fantasy ever. I was 10. I was 9, 10 years old. And at that point, what was I reading? Maybe Magic Treehouse.
Oh, I remember Magic Treehouse. I think that was my first introduction to fantasy as well.
Yeah, I got to take that back. I think that was mine as well. Because those were great. Oh
yeah.
How many of those do they have?
Too many. They have so many of them.
Never too many.
Never.
They were like thin little books that you went to the treehouse and then you went off into some. Did they go into the book? I'm forgetting how each of the plots are set up.
I have no idea.
Man, I look back on it so fondly though. I
must have had my parents like help me read like 20 or 30 of them, and I have no idea.
Fair enough.
So I have no idea what the plot structure was for that.
Well, I could at least say Avatar was one of my first introductions into fantasy, especially on TV.
Yeah, no, on TV, sure. I think for me though, the best first thing I remember as an introduction to fantasy was the Magician's Wardrobe.
What is that?
It's a prequel to Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Really?
Yeah, basically, instead of Narnia, there's this tree that you kind of crawl inside, and it takes you to basically purgatory.
What is with you and trees? Magic Tree House,
I like
this
trees.
tree thing. Trees are good.
But no, and then that's the tree. The main character cuts it down and turns it into a wardrobe.
Oh, okay.
And there's some other stuff that goes along in that, but I think that was my first book that I read by myself in fantasy.
Okay.
But no, back to...
What about shows, though?
Shows? I mean, does Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles count as fantasy?
Yes.
Then yeah, that.
Okay. I mean,
TMNT.
That's definitely fantasy.
That was my show. That everyone else has their like Spongebob and Looney Tunes or whatever. Mine is TMNT.
Acceptable.
Turtle Power.
Acceptable.
That is my show.
I never watched the show, but I got all the action figures. I love them.
Oh, I had so many.
Yeah.
So many. I had that and tons of Buzz Lightyear. That was my childhood toys.
Woody, all of them.
No,
Or just Buzz Lightyear.
Just Buzz Lightyear. Only
the
Buzz
best
Lightyear.
the best action figure to have in Toy Story is Buzz Lightyear.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Now, Avatar.
Yeah.
As far as a kid show goes, might be the great. Okay, SpongeBob is the biggest memeable and I think has the biggest impact on culture. SpongeBob will always be SpongeBob. Seasons 1 through 4-ish, 5-ish.
I'll take your word for it. I've never seen it. Never seen a full episode.
You've never seen SpongeBob.
No. Again, didn't have, cable. So.
But you can quote SpongeBob, right? Yeah, I know you know some references.
I know some memes.
Okay.
Like, I know memes and maybe half an episode I remember.
We're watching SpongeBob after this.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I'm not watching a kid's show.
Avatar is a great kid show. We just watched that like
that is the exception.
6 months ago. Okay. But I'll say this. SpongeBob, iconic, will always be with us in our generation. Everybody but you. It will be with us.
That sounds about right.
But Avatar, I think I still have to give it as the best kid shows out there. I don't think it gets better than Avatar.
Okay. I know this is a tangent, but I do actually have to ask. I don't know why. Why is SpongeBob so great? I've heard you talk. I've heard everyone talk about it. That was quintessential childhood thing. And from what I remember, it was just kind of dumb. Yeah, Patrick, and just I thought it was just kind of dumb kid stuff. Like, what makes it so great?
How do I explain? How do I put SpongeBob in such a small amount of time? We only have like an hour in the podcast, so it's
just briefly.
Yeah.
Like, it is good characters. Like, is the humor really funny? Like, even adults or not adults, but like older people can get. Like, what's the value you get out of it?
The characters in SpongeBob they're so unique, and they all have their different bits, and they all have their different quirks. So Squidward's your depressed, lonely man in his 40s or however old he is that hates his shiny, energetic. The juxtaposition to Squidward is SpongeBob. And then you have SpongeBob, who's just always happy-go-lucky, annoying, and that clashes with Squidward. Then you have Patrick, who's your dumb neighbor, who's also has these spurts of like little genius sayings. He'll say something really smart and then forget he said something smart. They have all these bits, and it's just you can always Mr. Krabs, the greedy, always looking for money. You have you ever hear that theory about the 7 deadly sins in SpongeBob?
No.
There's a theory out there where the writers wrote the characters to match the 7 deadly sins, like Squidward being what was it?
Envy?
Squidward. I'm not refreshed on my 7 deadly sins, but hi, Austin here. I'm currently editing the podcast. Please ignore this next minute where I proceed to incorrectly match each deadly sin with the incorrect character in SpongeBob. I got the theory completely wrong. I'm so sorry. Patrick being gluttony, I believe, was one. Plankton being wrath. SpongeBob being lust. They had all these.
Lust?
Yeah, lust.
Why lust?
Richie,
I don't think anybody's wanting to fuck the sponge.
No, I don't think that was the avenue they were going down. The theories will tell you. I'm not up to date on that.
All right.
But just take my word that it's out there. Someone wrote an article about it at one time.
Matt Pat on Game Theory probably did something.
We'll watch this video.
Yeah, okay. But okay, back to the actual, the title of the video. But Avatar. Now, it is an old debate. Like, this is not treading new ground here.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you've seen at least some anime, do you consider Avatar an anime or a cartoon?
Oh, is Avatar an anime? I don't think so. The definition I put on anime is Japanese animation or Eastern Asian Japanese animation. And is that correct or incorrect? I don't know.
It's not incorrect. However, I think there are exceptions. Like, anime is a style,
okay,
not necessarily a location. Like, there's Chinese companies that they make an animation where it's Japanese style. Like, it's an anime style. there's places in South America that make anime, and
Yeah.
it looks like anime. America makes stuff that it looks like anime. Like, so
Would you say Avatar's anime?
I think it's a hybrid. Like, it clearly is inspired. It has a lot of aspects of anime, like the large eyes, that kind of how the way characters' proportions kind of get out, and some of the weird, like, the soul kind of coming out of the mouth. That's a very anime thing, and it happens in Avatar. So I think it's definitely a hybrid, because it doesn't look like a cartoon. It just does. Like, it goes. It's not a cartoon. It's not a Western cartoon, really.
That's a good way to put it. Because it's not. When I look at anime, there's definitely a difference between anime and Avatar. Yeah. There's a visual difference, and I don't know what's that thing that makes it so different. The style. What stylistically differentiates them? Is it? Does Avatar draw and does anime draw, or how is their animation work?
Both. I mean, there's hand drawn, there's computer animated, there's CGI stuff. There, across the spectrum.
Yeah.
But, man, it is a it's a large umbrella. So, cartoon aspects. When I think of like a Western cartoon, I think about not a lot of harsh colors, and fairly odd proportions. So proportions of characters, like the heads look really weird and big.
Okay.
Normally stretchy. Like, characters are kind of like... I think when I think of Western cartoons, I think of the classic, like, Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, where characters are very fluid and, like, there's a lot of slapstick kind of thing, which I think, by the way, Tom and Jerry, best form of slapstick, period. Tom and Jerry. But anyway, Avatar doesn't have that. Like, they're far more rigid. They're far more, like, real characters. Like, they have a sense of internal consistency, where a lot of cartoons don't. Like SpongeBob, I would say. Like, those kind of cartoons, like, the characters kind of, like, look weird sometimes. Like, they're just odd shapes. They're not humanistic. I don't know. I think that's, like, even when you have a human in a Western cartoon, they look off. Like, they're odd proportions and things. Where anime tends to look more proper proportions.
Okay.
And that, again, tendencies. There's plenty of examples of that not being the case. But
yeah,
that's where I just kind of think about off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's strange because when you say anime, that means a different thing to different people.
Sure.
Yeah, and I'd agree with you. It's a hybrid. It's not exactly anime. It's not exactly Western cartoon either. It's very inspired by anime. But why do we love Avatar so much? Why do you love it so much?
I mean, principally, it's the characters in the world. The plot itself is, like, it's good, but the plot isn't anything to write home about. But the character journeys are really interesting and fun to watch them on their journey. And the world itself is just fun to explore.
Who's your favorite character?
Toph. 100%.
Why Toph?
She's Toph. And
just
it
a
sounds
badass.
like tough. Her dialogue is some of the best in the entire show. Like, whenever she talks, it's fun. And I don't know. I just enjoy every time she's on screen, she steals it for me.
I remember us watching, because we did it fairly recently, maybe 6 months ago. We watched through seasons 1 through 3 again. And every time Toph would make a blind joke, I just hear you cackle. Every time it would just hit. And then you laughing made us laugh and made me love Toph more. It trickled through me. Toph wasn't in my top 3, but I think she made it to top 3 characters.
I'm glad.
She's up there. But you'd even say Toph over the one and only Uncle Iroh.
Uncle Iroh's the easy bitch answer. I'm taking the hard stance.
How could you say that, though? It's Uncle Iroh.
Okay, yeah, he's great. He's like a solid 2. Like, he's edging up there, but I enjoy watching Toph.
There's a difference between great and perfection. Okay. There's a huge line. And Iroh's perfection.
Now, which character has a deeper story to tell? Which character has more depth? All right, Iroh. But which one do I enjoy on screen more? Toph.
No, I know. I love them both. There's a solid 5 or 6 characters in there that I'd die for. Iroh, Toph, Zuko. Come on, Zuko is just a.
I'll be honest. This last watch through, like I like Zuko a lot, but I don't know. I think I had like a little bit of rose tinted glasses for Zuko.
Whoa.
Last watch through, it just there's a couple highlight episodes.
Yeah.
That you really like. I really loved Zuko, but there are a lot of episodes with Zuko where I'm like, eh. Like I thought I thought it was better.
Which ones?
Like I remember Zuko Alone.
Okay.
I remember Zuko Alone being awesome before.
Yeah.
And then 6 months ago, rewatch it and going,
wasn't as awesome on the second watch.
it wasn't like it just lacked.
Okay.
A little bit less.
That's fair.
Just how the fortune teller.
The Fortune Teller is the best episode of Avatar.
I didn't know it was the best episode, and then I rewatched it and went, the Fortune Teller is the best episode. I didn't know.
It started off as a joke, the Fortune Teller being the best episode. It's slowly become truth in reality. It's such a good episode.
We're slowly convincing ourselves that it is the case.
Yes. Please rewatch that episode if you haven't. The Fortune Teller is fantastic. Was that in season 2?
No, season 1.
No way.
I know.
That's even crazier. Because season 1's notoriously the worst season.
Yeah.
It's still a good season. I mean,
yeah, it's fun.
But season 2 and 3 are generally the best seasons in the show. Which, by the way, do we agree here? Is season 2 the best season of Avatar?
I think so.
Me too. And I wish we disagreed because season 3 people are very passionate.
It came close. Like, kind of going back over it, going, there actually are a lot of good episodes in season 3. Like
some solid episodes.
So, oof. But season 2, maybe that's it. Like, I think season 3 has a ton of great episodes with like plot and character stuff.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Season 2, you explore a lot more of the world, and it's, I think, cooler for the world building. Because, like, you get to see Omashi, you get to see Ba Sing Se, you see the desert, which I think is the coolest. Like,
Desert's very cool.
The library underneath. And just, so.
The library episode, the Tales of Ba Sing Se, Appa's Lost Days.
Yeah, So that's, personally, I prefer it, but.
Yeah. But barely. Season 3, it is barely. Season 3, it's like 2, 3, and then 1. It's right there.
Yeah.
I think, which is the interesting thing about Avatar, is do you think they could have made more seasons?
I mean, of course they could have because they made Korra, but they shouldn't have.
They shouldn't have. I think it's perfect. The 3 seasons right there, it's just enough. It's good stories here. It ended. I love it.
I appreciate shows that actually end.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are exceptions to that, but like Cowboy Bebop, which I need to show you, but
have not seen yet.
1 season, ends, perfect. Don't need anything more.
Okay.
That's all it needs. Love it.
Just 1.
Just 1.
Nice. And now they have that great show or movie coming out, right?
Oh yeah, the Netflix version. That's totally great. It's amazing.
I know nothing about Cowboy Bebop, but I know everything from the anger you've shown after that came out. Apparently, it's disgusting.
The trailer itself, like, I'll normally give shows a chance.
Yeah.
Saw the trailer, not giving the show a chance, and I was right. Bad. All the they got canceled. They were greenlit for a second season, and then they were canceled.
That's bad.
Ratings
were that low?
Oh yeah, it was bad. Bad. But honestly, I think that's a good segue into anime itself.
Yeah.
So I'm curious because I like anime. I like it. There's a bunch that doesn't. Like, I'm not super into anime, but I've seen enough that I'd seen more than quite a bit of people.
Sure.
But and there's definitely a lot of aspects of anime that are weird to me, being, from the West. So there's some stuff that, like, kind of makes me uncomfortable. However, when I've gotten so used to it, when I watch by myself, I kind of just ignore a lot of, like, the weird stuff in anime. But when watching it with you, I remember I noticed those things again, and I go, oh, yeah, that's a little weird. And then, but what are your thoughts? Because I've shown you a couple different animes.
Now, I was never introduced to animes until you introduced me. So before that, I knew animes were out there. I was like, oh, that's not for me. That's for the nerds. Turns out I'm a nerd, right? So after the first anime you showed me was One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And first episode, that was hilarious. I was hooked. And obviously, what was it, episode 3 or 4, where you have the famous 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and a 10-kilometer run every day. So it had some really funny stuff, and I was like, wow, okay, anime, this is pretty awesome. Season 1 of One Punch was pretty good. I mean, I thought like the beginning episodes were better, but watched it through and liked it. And then you showed me Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And you showed me first the first 4 episodes. The first 4 episodes of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And I stopped watching because I was like, I don't like the style of it. I'm not really into it. Like, okay, maybe I'll watch it again someday. And this was during COVID. There wasn't things to watch, really. I was like, I'll just set it aside for another day. And then, like, months later, I think this is when we moved in together. We started from episode 4 or 5, wherever I left off. Watched a couple more episodes and went, wow, I like this. Okay, this is getting better. And then by the time I hit like episode 8 or 9, I think we watched all 60-ish episodes in 2-3 days.
Close, yeah, about that.
Close to that, yeah.
No, at somewhere around episode 7, somewhere around there, it just goes and doesn't stop.
No, and then the last 20 episodes, I think, are all one day.
Oh, yeah.
It's the finale. The finale is a third of the show. 1/3 of the show is the finale.
It's so good. But it doesn't feel dragged out. It is just... I love it. It's
phenomenal. And the thing I love about it, there's so much I love about it. First being the 7 Deadly Sins, like we were talking about with SpongeBob.
Yeah.
So in Fullmetal Alchemist, the 7 Deadly Sins are such cool mini bosses. They're just, I love each of them. Greed is the greatest. Greed is just, his character arc is phenomenal. Him and, is it Lin or Ling? That he binds with.
I think it's Ling.
Ling, yeah. Him and Ling. Oh, Ling's also fantastic. And some of my other favorite, Envy. Envy's a great Envy's boss. Ugh.
Envy and Mustang is such a...
Mustang.
Small spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers are coming. Love this show.
Stop here if you haven't seen it and go watch the whole thing.
Yes. And we're going to compare Avatar to Fullmetal shortly as well. So,
all right, going right into spoilers now. That's enough time to cut off.
Yeah.
The moment with Mustang finally killing Envy, or confronting Envy.
Oh, beautiful.
There's a moment there where I almost thought, it's going to be childish. Mm-hmm. It's the child one, like, don't kill it. No. Where it's like, what are you doing? No, it killed all your friends. It's going to kill a bunch, but kill it. And Mustang's there. He's about to kill it, and Hawkeye tells him, like, yeah, I don't like that look in your eye. Like, you're gonna be. Yeah. Look, I will kill it. Like, it's gonna die, but not you. You can't, because that look in your eye. You cannot be our ruler and our leader with that look in your eye. Mm-hmm. That's not how you want to start off. Like, you are gonna turn into something that, I won't respect. So, let me kill it, not you. And he's just consumed with revenge, and he lets it go. And, Envy kills himself because he's being pitied. And so...
Such a great end to Envy, and great moment for Mustang. And is that Hawkeye? Oh, yeah, it's just great moments. And obviously the scene with Mustang and Lust. Oh, just...
I've watched that sometimes on YouTube just for fun. Just pull it up.
Just Mustang's one of my favorites in there. And then you have main characters, the Elric brothers as well.
Yeah,
can't not mention them.
All of the characters except for
that little girl, May. Yeah, May was a little weak.
But thing is, like, I didn't hate her. I didn't hate the character, not at all. But like, compared to everyone else,
yeah.
And then don't want to forget the best character in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. General Olivia Armstrong.
General Armstrong.
How do you introduce the best character in the show at like past the halfway mark of
Was it
the
really
show?
past the halfway mark? It was definitely a good
It's
chunk
late.
into the show.
It is late in the show. I'm like, oh, where's they hiding this
Yeah.
best character ever?
Yep.
Oh God. But there's a lot of similarities to Fullmetal Alchemist, Brotherhood, and Avatar. That's why I wanted to show you that show, because I was like, it's kind of like Full Metal is kind of like Avatar,
Yeah.
with a little bit aged up. Like, instead of young adults, like Full Metal Alchemist is more for like 16, 17 age range, where Avatar is far more for like 12, 13 type thing.
Well, and still for us too. Avatar, I can still enjoy it without
Yeah,
problem. But
you can enjoy it, but you can tell
they
there's
have limits.
Yeah, it happened frequently enough in Avatar where I'm watching this going, oh, I see what they wanted to do, but they couldn't because it's a kid's show. Like all the stuff with blood bending, all the stuff with like the more darker sides of war and the actual results of war, they couldn't actually go all the way with it, and you could tell that they're hinting and they
For
want
sure.
to,
For sure.
but they can't.
And you ever see that YouTube clip of was it Katara and everybody saying you can't say the word kill, was it?
Yeah.
So instead they say, I'm going to make sure you don't wake up tomorrow, or you're going to end today, or they had to say all these variations because they couldn't say the exact word. Was it kill or die? One of those words they can't say.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, they can't hold back as much punches. They have more freedom to show this.
Oh yeah, they can show whatever they want.
Yeah.
Like there was no limitation on the story. So,
but what would you say though, if you had to compare the two, Avatar or Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is an objectively better show?
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Is it close?
For anyone above the age of 15, no, Brotherhood's better.
So, for an older audience, you'd say Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, no doubt, just a better show.
Yeah, no, I mean, world building, characters, the plot. I think it looks. Maybe Avatar has it in looks. I think it's a real cool world. Like some of the temples and the world itself is very pretty, and cool looking.
Very.
Maybe that gets the edge out.
Okay.
But some of those fight scenes, especially in the finale, are just some of the coolest. Like the music, I also think is possibly better in Brotherhood, but that's close. That's really close.
I actually think it's better in Avatar. The music and what is that? The instrument starts with a K. The kalimba.
Yeah, kalimba.
The kalimba is awesome.
It's good.
They have. I think most of the songs from Avatar are played on the kalimba. Leaves from the Vine. You have
Leaves from the Vine isn't on the kalimba.
Oh, really? Okay. Is that like some type of guitar, some type of string instrument?
It's some type of Asian version of it's an Asian string instrument. I can't remember the name.
But you have a lot of great songs in the Avatar. I don't know the names of them exactly, but obviously the Leaves from the Vine, huge one, and the theme, do 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 do, whatever that one is. Fullmetal Alchemist is still great music.
I just think it has epic music. Like I still know this song from when Alphonse is battling Pride. Just that's what a great. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. That whole finally Alphonse, the younger brother, no holds bar, just oof.
And Pride is the scariest of the deadly sins.
Oh,
Pride just came out of the shadows.
Also, can we appreciate how smart the plot and characters are?
Oh,
the characters don't make dumb decisions. How much they're actually careful and actually they don't overlook something really important. Where Pride is watching them all, and Mustang and they're actually intelligent characters.
Yeah.
And I love how it makes the plot so believable when characters are doing logical things and there are real obstacles in their way, and they all make rational decisions. I didn't know that's what I needed, and how many other shows are missing that.
You got to respect a show where the characters make decisions that make sense. That makes it so much more enjoyable. And I want to tie in Avatar and Fullmetal. The reason they're compared so often is they're both master classes in magic systems.
Yeah.
They very much are. And they're similar in that they're both hard magic systems, meaning they have their magic's very defined. The limits are very defined. With Fullmetal, it's very defined. You have specific things you could do with alchemy to produce different, it could be fire with Mustang, or with not General but Major Armstrong. It's powerful punches and just manliness.
He makes out of objects. He can make weapons out of stone and all the other objects. But basically,
his power wasn't giving him more strength. Did I miss that? Oh,
he's just strong.
Oh, he's just awesome.
But no, on his gloves, he can warp.
That's right.
Whatever he touches with those gloves, he can turn like a stone. Like if he picks up a stone, he can punch it, and when he punches it, it transmutes into like a sharp spike instead of just a rock.
Okay.
And he can do that with a bunch of other materials.
Got it.
But in essence, though, I would almost say that Fullmetal it looks on the surface as being a more hard scientific system, and it's definitely treated as a science. And Avatar has far more mystic elements, and it's far more supposed to be, spiritual. The spirit world. Mm-hmm. But in many ways, I think Fullmetal is less of a hard system. There's one rule, effectively, is a law of equivalent exchange. But in between that, you can kind of do whatever you want, as long as it's equivalent. Like, you don't add material, you don't subtract material unless you use a part of a soul. Where Avatar is a little bit more, there's fire. You can bend fire. There's, I think, way less, there's actual hard limits into it, where Fullmetal Alchemist, FMAB, that's shorter, but FMAB has such this wide, you can do anything, really, as long as it's not, within the law of equivalent exchange, effectively anything.
There's all sorts of alchemists. Yeah.
Exactly. There's such a wide range.
Yeah.
They do a bunch of stuff. Where Avatar, just 4. And then there's some variations in between there, but it's all hard. Firebenders can produce fire. Airbenders can control. It is far more limited of a magic system than FMAB.
Yeah, they're both very hard magic systems. I wouldn't know which is that. That's a good point, though. I think there is a very more broadness to Fullmetal Alchemists. You can do a lot of different alchemy. With Avatar, the coolest thing about the magic system there, it's so simple. There's 4 elements. The coolest thing about it is the new and unique ways you can use your tribe's magical power or your nation's magical power in a different way. So when you see a waterbender, when you see Katara learning throughout the seasons, it just starts with simple water bending, but then you get these cool octopus strings that can go, or these octopus tentacles that could go around and start whacking people. And you get all these unique ways, and especially earthbending. Earthbending, you get so
Earthbending,
cool.
I think, is probably one of the more creative ones.
Yeah.
By far, you have to be creative with earthbending to be cool, because it's pick up big rock and shoot it.
Yeah.
But no, you can do a lot of really cool, especially Toph is super creative.
Yeah.
But I think both FMAB and Avatar do something that I really love, and I think what puts it over the edge, over the top for me. Mm-hmm. And it's the connection of the magic system to their cultures. And it's deeply tied. So firebenders, because they produce fire, they have a certain culture, they have a certain attitudes, and their personalities are very different from airbenders, waterbenders, earthbenders, all that. And it's deeply tied into their world, and how did they develop the way they did. firebenders being far more aggressive, being more passionate. Like, of course, they're the ones that are going to conquer the world. Airbenders being the peaceful nomads. Waterbenders changing with the times and being far more adaptable. And then the earthbenders being more set in their ways and have really strong earthly ties. They don't move around a lot. And they have big, massive cities and they fence themselves in. The magic system goes deep into how these cultures developed. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like, Amestris, and how does this magic system affect their science? How does it affect their world? What do they get to do? What are basically how mainly it actually goes way more into like religion, a religious context, because they treat alchemy as Amestris is an atheistic nation. They don't have like there's a couple religions, but it's mostly atheistic. It's like science is the king of religion, and the whole show is a discovery of truth and effectively God. And I love how that connects science and God. That's a fun. It's a fun thing to see in the show.
And in Avatar, the different cultures. One of my favorite episodes is where Aang sneaks in and becomes a student in the Fire Nation. Oh yeah, and just getting to see their culture.
Footloose. The Avatar episode.
Footloose, the Avatar episode. That's a great point. It is Footloose. Yeah, they all go in the cave, right? They just start. Yeah, that's great. I love that, and the thing about Avatar and Full Metal as well. Both of these. The best part about these shows is the world building and the journey you get to that finale. I love experiencing the world before you get to the big bad guy at the end. That's the coolest part. Without and maybe that's why I'm season 2 biased. Just you get so many goodies in there, and you have your different cultures. You have your firebenders who at the same time are what would you not anger? Or would you say they harness passionate? But at the same time, we see Zuko and Uncle Iroh, or Zuko learns from Uncle Iroh. There's a different type of firebending. That's that Uncle Iroh. What would you consider that kind of bending?
The whole thing is firebenders bring a lot from their emotional state. And so Zuko used to have his firebending fueled by anger.
Yeah. And
now he's no longer angry. He doesn't have his firebending anymore.
Can't do it.
So he has to have a different type of passion. And that's the whole Sun Wars episode. In all honesty, I'm a little confused on what exactly was his new spark. It's not really clear. But he found some other type of emotional passion to fuel his fire rather than anger.
His secret love for Katara.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, you bastard. Hey. You goddamn Zuko Katara shipper.
I want to ask you, too. Let's say you're in the world of Avatar. What nation do you think you're a part of? Not what you want to be a part of.
All right, BuzzFeed.
Listen, you're calling me a Katara Zuko shipper. I might as well just go on that.
Oh, you want to lean into it?
I'll lean into it.
All right, lean into
it. Which nation are you? I mean, there's an Airbender joke I can make right now.
Oh yeah.
But which nation do you think your personality ties in with most?
Probably firebending or earthbending. It's one of those two.
And why one of those two?
Earthbending because I don't like change that much.
Yeah.
I kind of like having my thing. I like building things. Firebending because I'm normally quicker to anger.
Really?
I get angry.
Oh.
I just,
around who? You're not an angry person. Maybe you're a passionate person, I'd say.
Maybe. I used to be far more violent, and I've toned that down.
Why'd you look at me like that? I used to be much more violent. God.
No, it just a lot of it just came from insecurity.
Oh,
okay. I really could not take a joke as a kid, and so I would be punch them, and I'd get more physical, violent to teasing, and I really had to grow out of that.
Okay.
So, and even now,
so that was before I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely, you're talking high school.
Okay. But I mean, I'm passionate about when I actually am interested in something, I go 100% into it. I really like it. And then if it's not something I'm interested in, I, to my own detriment, ignore it. And it's not good. But when I like something, I go all in.
Okay. So you think you'd edge more toward Fire Nation than Earth Nation?
Nah, I'd still edge toward Earthbending.
More obdurate side of you.
Yeah.
So cool. Okay. I like
Yourself?
that answer. Me? What nation am I?
You asked me, so.
I think I'd be a non-bender. I would not. I get the tough end of the stick. I love magic, and I'd be like, oh, what do I get?
You would be Sokka. I could see that.
Oh, 100%. I would be
You get the boomerang.
the guy that somehow has a boomerang and survives all this crazy stuff, but ends up. I wouldn't end up with the girl though. That's the difference between.
He got
Sokka.
two. He got two.
He got the moon.
He got the moon.
Every that Sokka pulls. Sokka is
Sokka
the guy.
pulled.
Yeah.
For a kid's show, he pulled the moon. That's pretty impressive.
Gotta love it. Sokka's another top. I think I said Zuko, Iroh, Toph, and Sokka are now in my top 3 characters. Math doesn't add up, but they're my top 3. They have to be. And then what about Fullmetal for you? Who's your favorite? Is it besides Armstrong? Don't even.
General Olivia Armstrong is the best.
Yes, she is. But who's second?
However, Ling, maybe.
Ling's awesome.
He's pretty great.
Not Greed though. Greed's so great.
That's like Lead and Gring. They become basically one.
Agreed. Okay.
Like once they become one, I love that. But beyond that, I really like Alphonse a lot. Love Alphonse. I love the Elric brothers themselves. Like, they're such a fun main characters.
Great main characters.
Beyond them, I really like Hawkeye a lot. And I know it's not probably
Hawkeye's
much,
great,
but Hawkeye and Mustang.
I will say this.
But
I will say this, that Elric brothers are great main characters.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the difference between Fullmetal and Avatar. The main characters in Fullmetal I like a lot more than I like Aang in Avatar. Don't get me wrong. Aang is a great character. I think
really good.
He's very good and solid. However, the best characters in Avatar are everyone around Aang. I think you can always point to the cast around him and the friends around him are typically people's favorites and my favorites over Aang himself. Although he's still a good character to follow and enjoyable.
Where Fullmetal, the heart of the show is the two brothers and their connection to each other.
Yes.
And their journey together to that at its core is the story, and they are the best characters. The fact their journey of basically trying to bring back their mom and bring back this mutated mess, and
what a powerful plot.
What a great motivator for a plot.
Can we make fun of Misha on this, by the way? Our friend?
Oh, we're deep enough into the podcast. He definitely isn't watching.
Can't believe I called him our friend, by the way. But
yeah,
we had Misha watch the first 10 episodes of this show, which guarantee you he didn't. He probably watched the first couple.
Oh no, he didn't. Yeah.
But he watched the first couple episodes, which is established that the Elric brothers' mother died.
Yeah.
And they tried to mutate her back to life, but her ashy, hell-ridden corpse crawled out and went back into the ashes. And their mother is still dead, and they're trying to now. And they lost Alphonse's body is now gone, and he's now in a metal suit. And Alphonse lost an arm and a leg, literally. And then Misha goes, "Yeah, I didn't find it that compelling."
Yeah, no, that's
what?
Bull.
What?
Absolute bull. One lot loses the whole bodies in a suit of armor, and one loses an arm and a leg in their journey to get their bodies back.
At least say
that's the most compelling intro to a show ever.
Just say anime's not for me. That's a better answer if you don't like
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, he watches Dragon Ball Z, and he doesn't like Fullmetal Alchemist.
And One Punch Man. He likes anime well enough, but can't. Oh God,
disgusting.
His media opinions are worse than ours.
And that's hard to do. Okay,
that's pretty hard.
That's a tough task.
No,
but what else? We already talked about. He liked he got us into Blood of Zeus, which is we don't need to talk about that anymore. That was
honestly
something.
we need. I'm kind of curious. I want to ask his opinion on movies.
Yeah.
Like, give us a movie recommendation just so I can see how bad it is. I kind of want to hate watch his movies.
Well, he also, see, a lot of people like this show, though. Invincible?
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
I did.
The whole thing?
Yeah, I did eventually.
You did?
Caught up and,
What did you think of Invincible?
overrated.
Agreed.
I was just kind of bored.
It was bloody and gory.
Yeah, I mean, action scenes were action. You know, it's cool, but character-wise,
The father just being a villain from another planet was kind of underwhelming.
Well, also Mark, just kind of, not a lot. Like, he goes through a lot of trauma. But
Animation was great. I liked the animation.
I don't know. I just wanted to see, like, what does he do with that trauma or something? Like, how does it change him? Didn't really seem to change him that much. Other than maybe he had a
I just didn't get the
bigger
hype.
sense of responsibility. But
Yeah.
then Amber, ugh, God.
I actually forgot about Amber in the show.
She's awful.
Oh,
She's an awful person.
Wait, so it's Amber and what's the other friend?
Ah, shoot. The girl or the guy?
The guy. It's Amber's the girl, right? Then there's the guy, his best friend.
The blonde hair. I
Yeah.
can't remember. Can't remember his name.
Me either. But it was a bit underwhelming. I didn't feel super huge connection. I wasn't really there. The mother was pretty cool. I mean, the mother I think was the best character.
She was. I mean, she definitely had the biggest emotional moments of, like,
Yeah.
finding out her husband. Like, she actually took her husband being this alien and not caring really for her as much. And one of the lines I think really got me was him saying, like, she's like a dog to me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, whoa. That
Yeah.
was rough. But
I mean, it had some moments in there, and especially the end of the first episode. I thought was actually really good because it was so corny and cheesy.
and
The
then
first
it
episode,
does the
and then it does the twist in the last 5 minutes,
yeah.
where you're like, "This is not that kind of show, buddy."
Oh.
And that got me. That hooked
Also,
me.
robot.
Robot.
The robot.
Remind me.
Everyone thinks he's
yep.
a robot, but he's
Yeah.
actually like this mutated guy in a jar.
Robot's great.
An actual emotional journey of, like, him discovering, like, basically trying to better himself. Loved it.
Agreed.
Great, actually good. But other than that, the world itself, kind of boring. Like,
Yeah.
it's really stereotypical superhero stuff. Like, it's basically a knockoff DC. So, and tons of people love it. And I'm looking at it going, I
Yeah.
think it's only popular because of that first episode where, bloody and gory. That's basically it.
The blood and gore. There's. I mean, the animation's there. There's a lot of fights, and there's a lot of tooths flying out.
Thing is,
and that's
animation,
cool, but I don't think blood and gore
animation
alone.
up to
should
blood
make
and
it good.
gore, like, absence the blood and gore, animation is just okay. It's nothing special. Like, it doesn't look that cool. Like, you want to talk about cool animation, like Demon Slayer.
Which
Cool
you gotta show me.
Animation.
You gotta show me.
Oh, it looks so neat. It's so cool. I think you would like Demon Slayer. So
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get you to watch that.
A big part of this in talking about anime is I'm still not completely there in anime where I've seen first episodes of other animes and haven't fallen in love. I guess I have to get more into the episodes.
You really do just have to, like, sit down and guarantee yourself, like, 5 episodes kind of
Okay.
thing. Like, not the 3-episode sniff test
Okay.
is generally true. Like, with an anime, you can't judge it on the first episode. You got to give it 3.
I will do that for all of them except One Piece. I'm not touching that thing. I heard there's 1,000 goddamn episodes.
Over 1,000.
That's unacceptable. I want to at least. I have plans by the time I'm 40. Okay, I have things to do, and most of it's pointless, but I still have things to do, and I'd rather do them. I don't know how many episodes have you watched of that show?
I haven't watched. I at least watched up to the time skip and then intermittently after.
What
I've watched-
episodes is that?
Pre-time skip, I think, is like 700. Maybe
You've
less.
watched 700 episodes?
Maybe less. Maybe, like,
That's
it
impressive.
could be less. I can't remember. Someone will correct me.
Well, even if, let's say it's 500.
Something like that. 400 or 500 probably.
God, that is
episodes.
That is impressive.
To be fair, only 30 minutes long. And I did that during like a summer in high school.
Okay.
But I would say pre-time skip, watch, and then after time skip, read the manga. Because animation like really dips in quality.
Okay.
In all honesty, the story itself also. Like there's some highlights, but
I'll get into the top ones you've suggested are Hunter x Hunter and Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer first because I think you'll actually enjoy it.
Okay.
Hunter x Hunter is one of those shows that, especially for a non-anime fan, there are going to be some episodes that are going to be rough for you. Like, you're just not going to enjoy it. I know it. And it's longer than... so, the entirety of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is one arc in Hunter x Hunter. Like, the final arc of the story is 60 episodes.
Oh, God.
Just the arc. Not the season.
Okay.
Like, one story. 60 episodes. It's also the best arc of, like, it. It's great, but it's so anime. Like, it has all those tropes that anime does where, like, they're moving in slow motion, like, narrating and what they're thinking as they're punching. It's just, like, episodes can, like, an entire episode can just be, like, them turning the corner. And discussing, like, do we go left or right? Do we go left or right? All the options. Like, so,
okay.
It's real anime, but it has some of the best characters I think anime has to offer, and the quintessential power system. Like,
better magic system?
Yeah, magic power system, the best.
Better than Avatar. Better than Fullmetal.
Way better.
Gotta watch that show.
100% better.
Gotta watch that show. Let's see if anyone wants to throw it in the comments, if someone's here at this point.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter or Demon Slayer, which one you'd rather have us watch here? We can rewatch.
Which one would you rather have a non-anime fan review and a I guess anime?
We'll give a rating of it. It'll be incorrect again.
Mine will be fine. Here's
mine. Yeah.
We'll bump his score up like 2 points and it'll be about correct.
See, on books, it seems like my ratings are very much inflated on books because I haven't read as much as you have.
Yeah.
And it seems like with shows and TV, like you said, I think you said this last episode, with shows and TV, mine are deflated a bit. They're just a bit lower and more critical on it for some reason.
In general, like I like, when it comes to TVs and movies, I like liking things.
Yeah.
There's some shows where I know it's not great, but I enjoy myself. So
that's fair. Yeah, I like liking things too, except I can't because
I know,
there's always the voices.
You gave the Batman 5.5 or whatever.
5.4, get it right, okay?
Oh my god, you don't enjoy liking things.
And I did some self-reflection. I was like, man, was I too hard on this movie? And I went through the rating system, and I was like, you know what?
5.3.
Yes. How'd you know I was gonna say that? You beat me to it.
I know you too well.
Oh, you know me too well. Well, I think that was a good episode for comparing Fullmetal Alchemist and Avatar. And if you guys have, like I said, if they have any suggestions for shows to watch, movies to watch that they want us to give our takes on, go ahead and toss it out there.
I always could use a good recommendation, but go ahead, leave a comment. He'll read it. Subscribe, do all the regular social media things. Oh, Instagram. That's the one social media thing that I'm in charge of.
Yeah.
So if you see all the other stuff, that's him. Instagram's me. So
if you see any cute little picture with a coffee and a little heart,
that's
him.
That's all me.
Those will be coming.
I don't upload very often. I don't have notifications on. So anyway, that's my part. That's the part I contribute to this partnership.
It's the most important part. I'll give you that. You get to post the cute pictures and some behind the scenes stuff. So it'll all be on there. But
all right. Thank you guys. Check out the clips wherever you see them, and we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.